I actually started college. I was 17 years old with 2 suitcases, moving to the University of Texas from California, living in a dorm, didn't know a soul at school or in Austin, and muddled through a couple of years of school. And my older brother, Rip, who pledged Zeta Psi at California, Berkeley, the IATA chapter, called me up one day and said, "Hey, what do you think about starting a fraternity chapter, University of Texas?" And I said, "Well, what fraternity?" He goes, "Zeta Psi." And I recall my response was, "What's a Zeta Psi?"
RPI was an engineering and science school, and in my sophomore year I was taking organic chemistry, and I was actually working pretty hard, and I really didn't do it very well. So my advisor said, "Hey, you need a new major." Best advice I ever got. So I changed to psychology, which was at RPI really easy. I was, one of the very few psychology, 4 of us. There were only 4 in the entire major. But it left me a ton of time to do Zeta Psi and student government, which I loved. And working with the president of the university, the provost, the academic dean. I eventually became chairman of the judicial board, the IFC senator, and had plenty of time to do Zeta Psi stuff. It was the best decision I ever made.
I was predisposed to join a fraternity. My father and mother were both Greeks at Maryland, so when I got to Maryland, I went through Rush a number of fraternities, and getting to Zeta Psi, they were a very young chapter, and there was a lot of need, and I thought a lot of opportunity for someone to come in and have an impact, and it was a hell of a ride.
I didn't really know what to expect, and as soon as I walked in the door, I saw this giant old mansion, just absolutely gorgeous building. The house was just packed with people, and you could just see the enthusiasm. You could see people are having a great time. I was greeted at the door by strangers who welcomed me with open hands, open arms, and I just felt welcome right from literally my first step inside the chapter house.
It provided an excellent release valve for keeping sane while I was there. Going and hanging out, playing cards with brothers until 3 in the morning, going to parties, getting me off campus, going to the beach, Disneyland, things like that.
Zeta Psi came on campus. They were doing some Rush events. A group of us got together. A lot of us were active in the student government on campus. So we put together an initial group, and we were initiated in April of 1969. I actually still have the card. At that time, there were 6 fraternities on campus. And 3 years later, there were 3. Because that was the time of student unrest, the protests on the Vietnam War and the like. And student attitudes to fraternities kind of shifted dramatically. And so the Zeta Psi chapter, with several other fraternities on campus, went dormant. We were fortunate to bring it back in 2009. And I'm now proud to say that we've got a group of about over 50 guys at America.
I have both fraternity brothers and I have biological brothers, and I have biological brothers that are fraternity brothers. And there's different connections when you say brotherhood, but to me what brotherhood means, it's a place and a word where men can actually use the word love together and not feel weird about it.
All my close friends are predominantly Zates, and they've been a part of my life, whether it's the good times, the bad times, and are just part of the fabric of who I am at this point.
I think the best advice I can give the actives is to take part in every aspect of Zeta Psi that you can. The opportunities available to you are going to launch you into things that you would never dream that you would be involved in. And this is true as an active and as an elder.
I think there's a number of activities that can be done, and everyone's sort of afraid that, oh, I'm not going to have the time to do it. And there's so many things that a volunteer can do to help in a myriad of different ways. In many cases, just in their own city where they are as an elder.
When I came up to DC for grad school, I didn't have a family home. I didn't have really any contacts in this area, and I became involved with the Washington Scholars Fellowship Program, which helped mentor me through grad school, helped me professionalize that education, and turn it into my career now.
Actives need to understand that we're all on the same team, that elders want to be associated with actives. It's part of our existence, and that we need to communicate with each other as brothers and as friends, and not as different organizations.
When you show that interest, mention to someone like a Dave Hunter or the Phi Alpha that you have an interest in being on one of the international committees. Serve on a committee, show your contribution and your dedication. And I think with time, you'll get that visibility that you need to move the chairs.
My experience as Elder Phi, the DC Elders chapter, or DC Elders Regional Association, has shown me that being involved in any way you can after you leave college, after you leave even grad school behind where you might have associated with a chapter, can really be rewarding to you. As the opportunities to network grow, as the opportunities to make lifelong friends, those are the types of things that become really cherished memories for me.
So I've been a Zeta for 30 plus years, and I look back, who's my son's godfather is a Zeta, my attorney is a Zeta, my real estate broker is a Zeta, and you keep hearing these stories from other Zetas too.
The best thing about the fraternity for me has been the brotherhood moving throughout the years of my life. I realize it's not a single story, but it's the story of Zeta Psi for me. As a 19-year-old kid, I was able to join a fraternity. As a 25-year-old, I was able to find a home, and that's been the story for me.